This is a brand new product just revealed by Mark Zuckerberg and Meta. It's a pair of fully holographic, augmented reality glasses. They call it Orion. Mark's belief is that products like Orion, the Meta Quest, and the Apple Vision Pro will become the next major computing platform, an evolution beyond the smartphone. And Zuck may be correct in his prediction, but let's be real here for a second. Does anyone actually want to wear this thing on their face all day long? Sure, your weird glasses can augment reality, that's cool and all, but let's talk about how we can alter reality. Break it, if you will. And that's a project that Elon Musk has been working on for the past 8 years now. Of course, we are talking about Neuralink. If augmented reality is the next evolution of the computer, then Neuralink is the final form, the omega if you want to keep the ancient Greek references going. While Zuckerberg was out shilling his new glasses, Neuralink was busy securing approval for a new implant that will pipe computer vision directly into a person's brain. Blindsight was just classified by the Food and Drug Administration as a breakthrough device. This essentially means that it's been fast-tracked through the development and review process in order to get this device into human patients as fast as possible. Elon Musk has said the blindsight device from Neuralink will enable even those who have lost both eyes and their optic nerve to see. It will even enable those who have been blind from birth to see for the first time. To accomplish this, Neuralink will replace human eyes with small digital cameras, much like those that Meta is using in their augmented reality glasses. And then the difference comes in when Neuralink cuts a hole in the person's skull and sews a few dozen tiny wires into their brain. You won't find that on the Meta product roadmap. What Neuralink is doing here will be to create a wired connection directly into the visual cortex of the brain, which spans both left and right hemispheres. So really, there will need to be 2 holes in the person's head. Again, the process here is not so different from the Facebook glasses, where those employ miniature projectors to take digital code, convert that to electrical light energy, and overlay it on the lens as visual information. Neuralink will take digital information from the camera and convert that into an electrical signal that's transmitted into the brain, which will then be stimulated into displaying that camera feed into the patient's field of view. Now, that sounds a bit crazy, and it is, but we have to remember that our entire experience of the world is provided to us by input devices. The eyes, ears, finger, tongue, they're all just a big network of sensors that pipe electrical signals into the semi-solid biological computer that sits inside your skull. That's you, a gray, wrinkly lump plugged into a meat suit. And that's existentially a little bit terrifying, but we can either let that keep us up at night, or we can use our knowledge of science and biology to exploit the system, to hack the human experience, to break reality as we know it. This is something that Meta cannot do. In an interview with Cleo Abrams, Zuckerberg admitted that haptic feedback is not possible with augmented reality. The glasses can show you any experience, but they can't help you feel it. Zuck also relented that smell is a critical component of an immersive experience, but would be an incredibly difficult challenge to bring to augmented reality. I'd even argue that these aspects are just straight up impossible to ever deliver with a wearable device. With a brain-computer interface, on the other hand, there is no theoretical end to the possibilities. Now, let's take another quick reality break here. As fun as it is to harp on Zuck, although gotta admit his new haircut is a massive improvement towards looking like a real boy, easily the best decision he's made since the whole Facebook thing, but these Orion glasses are definitely one of the most insane products we've seen in a long time. They are very impressive, and they do exist in the real world, even if they also make you look like a dweeb. And I'm not exactly doubting Zuck's prediction that this kind of wearable augmented reality AI interface technology definitely could overtake the smartphone as our mobile computer system of choice. That could happen within the next 10 years. So Meta has a very powerful head start. They have time on their side. On the other hand, what Neuralink is doing with blindsight is still pretty far from being anything that will make for an impressive tech demo. Elon has even said this himself, and when Elon Musk is not being ludicrously optimistic about one of his own products, you know that this is real. Quote, to set expectations correctly, the vision will be at first low resolution like Atari graphics, but eventually it has the potential to be better than natural vision and enable you to see in infrared, ultraviolet, or even radar wavelengths like Geordie LaForge. And any kid who ever strapped a headband to their face and pretended to be Geordie knows how cool that would be. It's also important to remember that the Meta glasses are a toy, an incredibly expensive and innovative toy, while BlindSight is first and foremost a medical device. I couldn't help but notice this reply under Elon's post by my fellow space YouTuber, the GOAT, Mr. Marcus House. He wrote, "This is my dream. With my legally blind son, I'd give anything to allow him to see clearly for the first time. Thanks to everyone involved in this project, a bright future hopefully awaits for all those out there with low or no vision." That's what actually matters, and hopefully that's what Neuralink can deliver for those people who need it. But if we wanted to shift gears back into optimistic mode, if dweeb glasses are the next big tech thing of the 2030s, then maybe we are looking at Neuralink as the next big thing, a technological revolution for the 2040s. Because, realistically, it's going to be hard enough to convince average people to wear these damn glasses on a daily basis. Imagine then selling the masses on 2 new holes in their head. My expectation is that after a decade of wearing the glasses, brain surgery will sound like a merciful relief, as long as you get to take the damn things off. Neuralink is also a more sustainable option in the long term. By that I mean, there is definitely a hard physical limitation on how small you can make this stuff, and I think we're already pretty close to hitting that wall, and smaller is great, but it usually means more expensive and more fragile as well. As someone who has spent a considerable amount of time wearing glasses, I know how easy it is to just accidentally damage or misplace a pair of glasses. Anyone who's ever sat on their frames. I'm trying to fathom what weather and temperature will do to these over years of ownership. At least you can put a phone in your pocket. You can't just put glasses in your pocket when you aren't using them. What are we all going to walk around with? Glasses hanging on neck straps like a bunch of librarians? Not that there's anything wrong with being a librarian, but you know what I mean. With Neuralink, the biggest investment is the surgery, but it's an automated surgery that's done by a robot. So it won't be cheap, but it shouldn't be outrageously expensive either. And now that you've done it, the only thing you would ever want to upgrade would be the chip and the battery cell. They can just pop that out and pop a new one in. That's already been done with monkeys, although they do have to cut your skin flap and peel that back first, then sew it back down afterwards. So you probably want to keep the upgrade cycles to a minimum, but it is an option. And the upside is that you can use this device anywhere, at any time, without anyone knowing that you have one. And in theory, you could use the link to interface with any other device or technology. Everything would go straight from the computer to your brain, and from your brain to the computer. And if things keep going the way that they are right now, there's not going to be a computer in the world that isn't running on some class of artificial intelligence. Elon Musk has envisioned this AI interface working like a third layer of functionality in the human control center. The primary layer is your limbic system. This is kind of your base level behavioral instincts: food, sex, fight or flight responses, caring for babies, all of those deep-seated behaviors that are universal among pretty much every living thing on the planet. Primal stuff. The secondary layer is your cerebral cortex. That's the wrinkly outer layer of your brain that kind of works like your CPU. Your consciousness, thought, emotion, reasoning language, and memory all originate in this gray matter. Sometimes your limbic system overrides your conscious thought. Most times it's the other way around. The give and take keeps us alive and functional. And then the third layer, or your tertiary layer, is artificial intelligence. Elon thinks that there is room for optimism that this can all work out, given that the cortex is very intelligent, but the limbic system is not. Yet they work together in harmony, so perhaps there could be a tertiary layer where a digital superintelligence lies that would be vastly more intelligent than the cortex, but still be able to coexist peacefully with the cortex and the limbic system. And at that point, what is real? If you can have a fully immersive sensory experience in virtual reality that you can taste, touch, smell, and feel, would that really be any different than something that happened in the real world? Is that already, what we are experiencing right now. We just haven't fully realized it yet. Do you feel your own reality beginning to crumble and break just thinking about this stuff? Remember, you're not actually a human being. You're a gray wrinkled lump of bioelectric tissue plugged into a meat suit. Or you could buy Zuckerberg's dorky glasses and be perfectly happy. That's cool too.